Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. My name is Scott Paddock. I'm privileged to be the president of this great facility and the hardworking team here at Chicagoland Speedway. On behalf of our entire staff, I would just like to welcome you to our magnificent mile and a half, as we like to call it. And we're excited to kick off a really exciting three-day weekend here. And I just want to start before I introduce our guests and let you know we're incredibly privileged and fortunate to have had a partnership with Nickelodeon. Really the premier youth-focused programming on the planet, and it was incredibly flattering for us for the second year in a row to have them attach their #1 kids program, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, with our race entitlement this Sunday as we kick off NASCAR's playoffs. And when you partner with a brand like Nickelodeon, what the value of that is they're promotionally savvy, they're media-oriented, they like to activate, and that's a dream for a track promoter like us. And we, as an industry, like every other sports industry out there, are looking to cultivate the next generation of fans. And there's no brand that's better to help serve as a conduit for us than one like Nickelodeon that really owns the youth landscape. So we're about to embark on an exciting announcement. And you know, I give Nickelodeon a lot of credit. What we find in our sport and in most sports is the partners who do it right do fully integrated partnerships with the tracks, with the teams, with the drivers, and with the sanctioning body to bring things all together. And that's exactly what they've done. So I'm looking forward to a great weekend, and I'm proud to introduce you to the Senior Vice President of Sports Marketing for Nickelodeon, Mr. Anthony DeCosmo.
No, please. No, really. Seriously. Not everyone at the same time. How you guys doing? Thank you for having us. Really excited to be back here in Chicago. Like Scott said, this is our second year here at Chicago. We've been in the sport in a significant way. I'd say for the last 6 years, we've done some stuff in Kansas with the SpongeBob SquarePants 400. We've also been at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Bank of America 500, as well as down in Atlanta. So we love this sport. This sport has done a lot for us, for our audience, for kids. It's a great conduit for us to connect to kids in a more meaningful way. So being here today means a lot to us. You know, we really want to do something fun this year and do something different and really push the envelope. You know, I think we're probably an out-of-the-box partner for NASCAR in a lot of ways. We have some really fun properties like Turtles, but also iconically known for Nickelodeon is Slime. That's kind of who we are. It's in our DNA. It's the ultimate badge of honor that a kid can bestow on any celebrity or anything that they think is cool. So we felt like this is a huge opportunity to bring that and try to do something fun and activate in a major way. So we also wanted to go after the heart and soul of this sport, which is the drivers. They really are what drives fandom. And we thought marrying some of these really talented drivers to our property, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and deeper into the storyline was a really fun way to get kids engaged in this sport. So that's kind of what we've done. That was our goal. And so I wanted to introduce the drivers that are participating this year. I want to thank all of you for taking a shot at doing this with us. We've already started to have a lot of fun, and we think this is going to be a really fun weekend. I've worked with some of you guys in the past, and I'm excited to work with the newcomers as well. So thank you. I also want to introduce, listen, this is a man that needs no introduction. Greg Sipes, the voice of Michelangelo. He too has been a part of NASCAR for a while, right? You were here last year.
What's up, y'all? Thanks
Love
for
it.
having me again.
Thanks for coming.
Chicagoland Speedway, NASCAR. This is so exciting. Last year was so fun, and I know this year is going to even be more fun. The slime?
Listen.
So what's going on with the slime?
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys don't know, we are going to slime the winning driver in Victory Lane. We really pushed the envelope to transform Victory Lane into a Nickelodeon environment. You know, I want to shout out Gatorade for allowing us to do that.
What?
We really pushed the envelope, and Scott was a great champion to get this done. I know it wasn't easy. It was not easy to get this done. But we will be sliming the winner driver in Victory Lane. And we have a little something special after that for everybody, because you know, the entire team, as you guys all know in this room, goes into that driver winning. So we wanted to make sure everyone from the crew chief all the way down got a chance to be acknowledged. So we're going to do some fun stuff there.
Right on, right on.
Yeah.
What's under that blanket?
Yo, so here's the story. So every year that we've had a race entitlement, you know, we've sought out an artist to kind of bring their flair, their flavor to what it is that we're doing. So this past year we held an art battle in the Pilsen section of Chicago. We tapped into our friends at the Good Details Gallery, who are super connected in the art community. They got 6 really great Chicago-based artists to come up with the murals that you see on the walls around you. And it was an art battle, and the winner got to design the trophy. And so we wound up with a tie. There was 2 winners that made it, Max Sansing and Tubbs, who are on the back walls over there. So they came up with this trophy design. So, you know, I want to unveil that.
It was such a
why
hard
don't you do it?
it was such a hard decision picking the artists, and
It
it was so
was.
cool that we picked 2 to collaborate. But I feel like all the artists were winners, really. You
Listen,
know?
we appreciate all the stuff that they did. So,
What you want me to do? You want me to pull that?
you mind?
Really?
Yeah, both of us.
Both of us. Yeah, let's introduce the most. What up?
Sorry, guys. Look, they give me a mic. I just go. I gotta blaze.
I like your ninja hashtag.
Like that?
That's fresh.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. So for the Camping World Truck Series, we have Jennifer Jo Cobb, who will be driving the Rebel Road truck, and John Hunter Nemechek, who also drove with us last year. So thanks for coming back. We really appreciate that.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So you know, I obviously you had a chance to look at the truck. So what did you think about the way the paint scheme came out?
It turned out really well. The undead Shredder scheme turned out really well. It's pretty cool having Ninja Turtles on it, but Shredder, probably one of my favorite characters on the hood and on the deck lid in big form. So hopefully we can put that thing in victory lane tonight. I feel like we have a good chance, and hopefully we can have some kids rooting for us tonight.
Who's your favorite turtle?
You.
Yeah, you're not just saying that.
And Jennifer Jo Cobb,
You're gonna win.
Jennifer Jo Cobb, I'd love for you to talk also about your paint scheme.
You know, it's amazing, and it's an honor for you to choose us to drive the Rebel Road Chevy paint scheme tonight. And I said, why me? You know, we're an underdog, underfunded team. Why us? And then when I saw that I was getting the Rebel Road paint scheme, it kind of made sense because I've been a bit of a rebel over the years. So
I love it.
gotten in a little bit of trouble. So so it made a lot of sense, but I really appreciate it. And I also think it's due to our amazing fan base. And we have more fans on social media than any other of our competitors do. And it's just, I think our team, as an underdog team, people appreciate our journey and what we go through. So we put the extra effort in this week to try to bring home a top 20 finish for you guys. You know, being down the multi-millions, we have to set our goals realistically. So if we were to win, oh my gosh. But, you know, so that's our goal, is to really capture the attention of NASCAR kids and to be a great representation for Nickelodeon. I'll keep my rebelness down this week. And I'm told that the episode for Rebel Road airs next week.
This is correct.
We can't reveal too much here, can't talk too much about it. But my goal for the weekend is to find out what the slime is made of. So for my fans, we'll try to figure that out.
Wow. Okay, I love that. Thank you. Thank you. Xfinity Series, we have Matt Tift and Bubba Wallace as well. Matt, do you want to talk a little bit about your car first?
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty cool. We got the Lone Rat and Cub paint scheme on this weekend, so it's pretty neat being a kid growing up, watching Nickelodeon, watching the Kids' Choice Awards and all that stuff. Nice. So I was always a big SpongeBob fan, but I've learned a whole lot about the Ninja Turtles here too. So it's pretty sweet to have them on board, and we got them as well as the American Brain Tumor Association. So having them both on the car is really awesome for us. And but like Jennifer was saying, this is so cool for our our kids in the audience and on watching on TV at the track. Can't wait to see how much fun we're gonna have, and hopefully we get slimed at the end of this thing.
Absolutely. Talk to me a little about your outlook on the race. How you feeling?
I feel good. This is our last race before the playoffs start, so this is kind of a weekend to be able to try and go get our first win of the year and get some good momentum going into Kentucky. But that being said, this is the last race. We don't have the extreme pressure on us, so having a fun sponsor like Nickelodeon on this weekend is it's pretty cool to have that outlook of the weekend of, hey, if we win, that's awesome, but the real pressure ramps up next week, so we just want to go have a great race tomorrow.
Absolutely. Thank you again. Appreciate it. My guy Bubba, we go way back. He has starred and appeared many times on our co-production with NASCAR, Hammer Down. So our audience is very, very familiar with him. We had the opportunity to work with him on this race. We were super excited about it. Bubba is actually driving a Nickelodeon green slime car. You want to talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, are we sure we're going to go with that? As many texts as Anthony and I have sent, he's
Listen.
probably going to change it here in the next minute. But no, it's been such a fun relationship over the last couple of years, and I've said this in so many interviews, but it truly is close to the heart, because us '90s kids here really enjoy getting behind this brand and really representing it. And I think mine is representing the Nickelodeon brand as a whole. I mean, you look at, you got SpongeBob on my car, you have Ninja Turtles, Doug, Cat Dog. It's really cool, and a lot of the shows that you forgot about, and then it's like, man, I want to go back and watch some Nickelodeon when I get back home. So, but it's really cool. So thank you, Anthony, everybody at Nickelodeon for doing this and putting on such a great event. The slime effect is really cool. So we were able to incorporate that in the car. We had plenty of designs to go over, and we had to go what was best for the brand as a whole, not our personal favorite. But it still turned out really sweet. So all in all, looking to put that thing in victory lane.
True story. Bubba and I it'd be midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and we'd be going back and forth with creative on the car, on the design. He was really hands-on in the process, which is always appreciated when you can work with an athlete that really has that level of professionalism and a vision. It's always amazing when you can do that. So thank you, and appreciate you doing this.
Absolutely.
Okay, so for the Cup Series race, Jeffrey Earnhardt's not here. We were hoping he was going to be able to jump in, but we do have Matt DiBenedetto, who's here, who spent the morning in a Leo costume, running around with the fans. We were out with the campers. We've been everywhere. You know, this guy, we're feet on the ground. We're out there with the fans. So I appreciated that. Thank you for doing that, man. You were a really great sport.
Of course. I feel like I've set the bar high for everybody this weekend already at the start of the morning. I did roll through the garage and do a Facebook Live video in my Leo costume as well. So I got some interesting reactions, so if anyone hasn't seen that, that's going to go well. It's fun. I also did say on my paint scheme, it's got a lot going on, we'll say. It's pretty busy. It's bright. It looks really awesome. But I told my spotter, David Pepper, if he can't see that thing on the racetrack, he's fired.
Do you have a favorite turtle?
I'm gonna have to go with Michelangelo over here. Oh boy.
What?
But I grew up watching. Oh my gosh, just like everybody on. It's funny him bringing up a lot of those shows. I did watch Cat Dog, Doug, SpongeBob religiously, and my brother was huge into Ninja Turtles. I watched it a lot because of him. But he is 30-something years old and in the military, and when I showed him and that I was running this car, he was totally geeking out. I mean, absolutely freaking out. He was a 30-something-year-old grown man, and he was having a heart attack over it. So it's pretty cool. Obviously, you're going to get great reaction from the kids, and that's the best thing in the world for us to be able to do is connecting with the kids in our sport, because those are the ones that are going to go to their parents and be like, hey, bring me back. And they have a big impact on and they'll be able to bring their families back to the racetrack. But we can also connect with the adults, because that's, back from in our real early days too. So it's a great way for us to connect with all the fans.
Matt really touched on it. I think that's one of the reasons why we're in this sport is, we do feel like we have the opportunity to help create an entertaining experience for the entire family, which is why we picked Turtles from the beginning, right? So you can be a 6-year-old or you can be a 30-year-old, and you have your experience with the Turtles, and there's a connection point between those two age gaps that bridges it a little bit, right? So if your first time at the race, you have something fun to talk about outside of just the racing. There's a nice connective tissue there. So hopefully you guys feel some of that energy. I know last year I was shocked to see all the fans that were there that showed up in their Turtles paraphernalia. We had no idea that was going to happen. It happened authentically and organically, and we really appreciated that. So I want to thank all the drivers again for doing this and participating. You guys have been great sports for doing this, so thank you.
Of course. Let's see this bad boy.
All right, and then we're going to unveil the trophy now.
Anthony, director right here. Anthony, you keep that. Why don't you guys come on over where we can see you all? Everybody good?
All right, good to go. Here we go.
Pure silver.
All right, if I can have your attention here in the Media Center, we'll continue with today's media availabilities here at Chicagoland Speedway with 3 of our NASCAR Xfinity Series drivers. We have Michael Annett, driver of the number 5 Pilot Flying J Chevrolet, Brendan Gaughan, driver of the number 62 South Point Hotel and Casino Chevrolet, and Dakoda Armstrong, driver of the number 28 WinField United Toyota. Gentlemen, big weekend here with your last race coming up here at Chicago. Dakoda, we'll start with you. What's it going to take to secure your spot? Or are you comfortable in points, or do you feel that you have to get a win to get into the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, we're at a spot where we're going to have a little bit of help. 25 points is it's a pretty big margin, especially, our mile-and-a-half program's been better this year, but it's not been where it still needs to be. So we're putting all of our eggs in, this basket, trying to get as much as we can. But, with stage points and all that, we haven't done a good enough job of accumulating them. So we're going to try all we can this week. But that's really our only hope is to get as much stage points as we can, and then, just have a little bit of help and trying to get, a top 5. The win obviously is what it's probably going to take, but, that's a pretty big, jump for us. So we just got to go out there. We're not giving up, but we got to go out there and really perform, this weekend.
Good deal. And Michael, we'll go to you next. You've been strong pretty much all season, and your team has been very successful as well. What has made you guys so good this year, and how do you feel heading into the weekend?
I don't know if I agree with everything you just said there. I feel like we should be a lot better. Shouldn't be talking about the playoff bubble and securing our spot this weekend. It's been subpar. We've shown flashes, and then we've been consistently just a couple spots out of where I think we should be, especially looking at our teammates' performance. So, Dakoda talked about segment points, and I was looking at it, and I think I have maybe 9 on the entire year. So that's really hurt us. Even though our finishes they're decent, not where we want, but we've just struggled in qualifying and struggled those first two first segments of it seems like week in and week out. So if we get ourselves in the chase, that's something we're gonna have to focus on and get as many of those as we can.
Absolutely. And Brendan, what do you and your team have to do to get into the playoffs here this weekend?
No, we've been doing that the last bunch of weeks. We knew that the road racing season would be good for us. South Point Chevy is once again, just like Michael said, we don't believe we shouldn't be in this spot. We feel terrible that we're in this spot. We've had a lot of stuff happen this year that put us behind, and all we've done the last couple weeks is be smart. We knew that we were battling Dakoda and Michael for that last playoff spot ever since Jeremy won. So we just played it smart and tried to be smart, and we'll probably try to do the same thing today because we're at least sitting in. Unless somebody randomly wins this race, we're going to make it on the points. So we gotta just be smart. Don't do anything stupid, and don't piss away a bunch of points.
Good deal. With that, we'll open up for questions. If you have a question for any of these 3 guys, please raise your hand, and we'll get a wireless mic to you. Go over here with Chris in the front.
Chris Knight, catchfans.com. Michael, your plans are already set for 2018, but how would you evaluate your first full season back in Xfinity since 2012 and your outlook for the final stretch?
I use the word subpar. That's for sure. If you were just to look at myself and maybe one other teammate, that could be running well and myself struggling. But when you have 3 teammates that are consistently running the way, my teammates have been, it just you can only point the finger one way, and I'm the first one to look in the mirror. So we came on with a team starting late that didn't help anything. A first-time crew chief that we had a lot of things stacked against us, and I think the reason we've had the success we have had is because of the foundation that's already at Junior Motorsports and what they've built there. So like I said, we need to get ourselves through this weekend, put ourselves in the playoffs, and then just no excuses. Take everything that we've learned throughout this year, and go back to the segment points part of it. Just have to qualify better, fire off better, and start accumulating those, and we need to go get a win. I'm not going to be happy with our season if we finish out the year and don't have a win yet. So I definitely think it would be a disappointment without that.
We'll go to Kelly in the back and then to Mike.
KellyCrandallRacer.com for any of the three who would like to answer. When you look at, you all touched on playoff points and being in this position, and if you qualify for the playoffs, will there be maybe any little bit of an advantage to watch how the cup race here will unfold this weekend when it comes to those playoff points? Because you guys still have a week to go before your opener starts. So you kind of give you an idea of maybe how important those points will be?
No, I don't think. I mean, we know how important they are. We know what it does. We know what's put us. Look at what Martin Truex has done in the Cup Series all year long. I mean, he's got the bonus points to prove it for it. Now, we can't all of a sudden gain 30 bonus points, playoff bonus points, that quickly, but we do know the advantage. I mean, last week I finished 21st, yet I gained 4 more points on Dakoda and gained 2 points on Michael. We did that intentionally. We took a stage win, not victory, but a stage chance to gain those points, which gave me leeway. We know that that's going to be there. I think that strategy's been played out all year, and it's going to continue to play through the playoffs. I got to say, it's a pretty brilliant point system for that end, where it's really cool that you can gain or lose that many points in the middle of a race.
We'll go to Mike and then to Chris.
Mike Hembry, USA Today. Brendan, how do you
USA
race?
Today. Wow.
How are you?
That a new one?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Been a while?
Yeah.
Trying to
keep
pay attention.
Come on, trying to keep up.
Congratulations.
Thank you. How do you race not stupid? Do you try to?
For me, that's really tough, Mike.
That's why I'm asking. I mean, do you try to get top 10 and ride there and be safe? Is that what you're looking at?
No, like for right now, look, the South Point Chevy, we know we're faster than we've been. We've been fast throughout the year and been wrecked throughout the year. We've been fast throughout the year and had, problems. So I'm not worried about speed right now. Normally, you'd worry about speed. If you're not fast, you're worried. We've been fast. Right now, I have to worry about these two gentlemen right here. So what we have to do is stay focused on where we need to be. If Dakoda is going for stage points, it forces us to go for stage points. If he stays out to go for the win, it forces us to kind of stay on his cycle. So we're looking at a different strategy for the race than looking at what the leaders do, looking at what everybody else does. I have to pay attention to these two guys right here and base my strategy off of them, off of trying to gain whatever points I can to give me a bigger lead, a bigger cushion, just in case something random does happen. I mean, somebody behind us, Brandon Jones goes out and wins the race. That could really throw a wrench into this whole thing. So we have to be cognizant of that with 1 point and 20 points, 25 points. That's not, nowadays in this point system, that's not insurmountable.
Chris, go ahead.
For Dakoda, even if you guys don't make the playoffs this year, you cannot digest, or you cannot think about what you guys have been able to accomplish this year, including back-to-back career top 5 finishes for you at JGL, and that's something for you guys to be proud of.
Yeah, and I think one thing is we haven't had a DNF yet. We've done a good job of just taking care of our equipment, being there, being a smaller team. So, that really shows that the guys at the shop are really doing everything they can to keep this, this thing running and, keep everything going where nothing's falling apart. We've had a little bit of bad luck here recently with tires going down and stuff like that, but that's, it's going to happen. It just caught us at a bad time, and you can't really stop someone else from winning a race. So we did everything we thought we needed to do where we needed to be. If Jeremy didn't win it, we think we'd be in. So we just needed to be a little bit better here and there just to get those points we needed. But, we've improved, I think, a lot from last year. Last year there wasn't a surprise winner, and we didn't make it. And this year, I think I thought the competition was tougher as far as people running for points. There's good cars that didn't make it. So we obviously still need to keep growing and keep getting better, but we did a lot this year, and I think it shows. So it kind of stings not to make it, that we're not in yet. So I kind of wanted to give that for those guys, all the hard work, but we're still not giving up. We still have this race, so we'll see what happens.
Jerry Jordan, kicking the tires.net and PRN. Bren, got to ask, how's your liquor empire going?
Yeah, that's about as well as the liquor empire is going. City Light Shine is struggling along. It's a startup, so anytime you have a startup, it's always exciting. Got to take a risk though to ever have anything good happen in life. So it's going right. It's Dolan, former NASCAR official Mike Dolan is out there working his tail off, and I'm trying to come out here and keep it on the race car and let people see it. So it's in Las Vegas, all over Las Vegas, and working on getting it other places. I can maybe get you a little bit to Texas. We'll see.
Any additional questions here we'll go back to Chris.
Last September at Kentucky, it was a crazy race for playoff opener. I don't know if you remember, but it was one of the best races I've seen at Kentucky.
What happened? I don't remember. Listen, I struggle to remember what I ate for breakfast. I hit my head a lot.
Just last year at Kentucky, there was a lot of crashes, a lot of.
Is that where we went? No, we didn't go through. That's Kansas. I went through the grass. Okay.
Yeah, but last year at Kentucky for the playoff opener, a lot of crashes, a lot of aggression, and just a lot of. But it was good, hard racing. Do you think we'll see that next week?
Absolutely. I think first of all, Kentucky is a track that is right now repaved. Fairly narrow, makes for a very difficult time for drivers. You got the stage points now that play into effect that didn't last year. You got guys that will be in the back half of the points trying to put their way up front to be in a better position. So absolutely, I think that the first race of each round of the playoff, I think you're going to see that here in the Cup race. So it's this playoff format is really cool. I think it's going to lend itself to that style of racing. So yes, I think you will.
Go over here to Aaron.
Aaron Bearden, Kicking the Tires. I'll try to be a little more serious than my boss asking about liquor. But last year we saw Blake Cook come from a somewhat similar position and run through the chase and almost make the championship 4. Given the playoff point system this year, do you guys still think that's feasible? And if so, what do you think it's going to take?
I mean, absolutely. You look at any, Dakoda was as high up as what, 8th in points at one point? I mean, Dakota's kicked all the big teams' butts this year. I mean, they were awesome. So it can happen. Michael, Annett, and I both have, very strong organizations that run well. So it just takes the right run, the right time. And I think that's what's fun about the playoffs now. I mean, I played college basketball and college football, and you hit the hot streak in college basketball at the right time. You end up Virginia Commonwealth going to the Final Four as a 12 seed. It's like anything can happen in a playoff format, and especially this one with the stage points added to it. It's going to be exciting.
Any additional questions here for our 3 NASCAR Xfinity Series guys? We'll go here to Lee.
Lee Spencer, Motorsport.com. Brendan, how important would it be for the Xfinity Series to get more standalone races? So the Xfinity drivers were kind of like the ambassadors of the sport, taking racing into new markets.
Lee, you've heard me answer this a million times. You know my answer. I don't care that the Cup guys are here. Basically, that all boils down to the fact that people want to say the Cup guys shouldn't be here. I don't say that. So is it great to have standalones? Absolutely. It's great to go to markets like Iowa, like Kentucky when we go alone. But watch the crowd at Kentucky versus when we're there at the Cup Series. It won't be as good. That's just part of the fact of life. I would love us to be able to say we could sell 70,000 seats for standalone races. You can't. So I don't care that Cup guys are there. It doesn't bother me that they're there. NASCAR is trying to limit that, and if they went to more standalones, that's great. It gives more Road America, more chances for guys to win races. But I have the same number of chances every week. If I can't beat them, then I can't beat them, whether they're there or not. That pisses me off.
Anything else? Gentlemen, thank you, and good luck tomorrow.
Thanks.